welcome to Leading Entrepreneurs of the World. Leading Entrepreneurs of the World is one of the most comprehensive and entrepreneurial platforms and events in the world and features entrepreneurs, founders, and business leaders presenting on cutting-edge topics and the latest industry developments. Our goal is to provide global business and entrepreneurial communities with a window into the minds of those who are shaping the future of the world. Today, we're very happy to welcome global entrepreneur and high-performance coach, Valentina Kordi. Valentina has always been interested in why people behave the way that they do, what drives their behavior, that ends up finally impacting their performance and efforts to achieve the goals they set. She desires to leverage the valuable lessons of her own professional success to help other people achieve their full potential. Valentina is a certified mindset and high-performance coach for entrepreneurs, executives, management teams, and more who developed her own coaching process based on real implementation, not theories, with which she helps people achieve their professional goals by focusing on building the right effective mindset according to their authentic leader self and experience success in practice. Valentina, it is wonderful to have you here today with us. We're excited to hear more about what you've been up to and about how in this ever constantly changing world that more than ever, it's a mind game and how you're helping bring success through that. So thank you for being here today and welcome to Leading Entrepreneurs of the World.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor and it's a pleasure. And please give me some seconds to upload my presentation.
Absolutely.
Okay, as I said, I'm really happy to be one of the leading entrepreneurs of the world guest speakers. And I would like to share my own words about how I see my route till here. So as you said, Jonathan, I am I'm a mindset and high performance executive and business coach. I run my own coaching business the last 10 years, with which I help entrepreneurs, executives, and teams develop a high performing mindset and culture so as to achieve their personal career goals, as well as the team and organizational goals for the company they work for or the ones they own. The main focus of the work we do together is actually aligning the uniqueness of each individual's personality, their needs and goals, with the goals and objectives of the organization, so as to be able to reach the highest potential of them, and at the same time, be in a sustainable way, happily successful and fulfilled business persons. I'm really proud to say that I have collaborated with business persons and companies from all over the world, from small up to big ones, such as Microsoft, Coca-Cola, Unilever, Nissan, AstraZeneca, and many more. And before opening my own business, I worked almost for 15 years in various companies from various industries, mostly in multinational ones, in managerial positions. And this is where I actually realized in practice that in most of the cases, what makes it hard for people in the business world to achieve their goals and achieve sustainable success is the mindset, the attitude, and the habits they have developed that in many cases act as their biggest, I would say, saboteurs, preventing them to reach their highest potential and to be the best entrepreneurs or leaders they can be, regardless of the external conditions. Coming to today's webinar, in a constantly changing world, success is a mind game. This is why I found it really crucial to talk about this topic today, because now, more than ever before, there is a need to consciously observe all those changes happening so fast, because of COVID, of course, and will continue so, and be able to make the best decisions and choices as regards our business sustainability and continuation. Thus, to be able to adjust our business to this new era, we need first of all to adjust our own way of thinking and attitude and obtain all those soft skills, as we call them, such as resilience, flexibility, resourcefulness, creativity, and so many more, that are not only required, they are demanded if we want to make our goals happen during this challenging period, and not only. And today, I'm going to show you the 9 steps you can walk to make that happen, which are based on my book with the title Success is a Mind Game: How to Achieve Your Business and Professional Goals by Changing Not Only Your Own Mindset and Behavior, but also your team's, which is available on Amazon. But before I start sharing with you those 9 steps for developing that mindset and attitude that will help you win the game of success in this constantly changing world, let me share with you a short personal story related to how I developed this method, this pathway, I would say, that helped me, first of all, gain the clarity of thought and confidence to succeed in the goals I set, no matter if the times are challenging or promising and easygoing. So I grew up in a middle-class family in a small city in Greece with limited resources that could lead actually to limited dreams and goals. Despite the fact that people in my surroundings were pretty pessimistic about how much we can control our fate and become something different or bigger than what is meant for us to become, I managed to prove their prophecies wrong by making my own dream goal of running a global online coaching business come true, instead of settling for the option of remaining an employee and work for others in order to have safety and avoid the entrepreneurial high-level risk. And up to here, everything sounds great and smooth, but the truth is that it wasn't. You see, I didn't know how to swim in troubling waters and handle challenges, as I was nurtured to do so by my challenging upbringing. But there were many times I would sabotage my own goals' success, even when the conditions were promising. I would let my fears, insecurities, or even limiting beliefs take place and make decisions or choices from that place instead of a place of clarity of mind and confidence. So when I opened my own business, I wanted, first of all, to understand what was exactly the process I have been using without realizing it unconsciously that makes me succeed even when I have almost nothing, even when the times are challenging, as they were when I started my business back in 2011 during the big financial crisis in Greece. So this is how I became consciously aware of the steps I repeat each time. So each time I have actually successful results. Focus on my way of thinking and attitude, which are the foundation for the successful implementation of any plan we decide to follow as regards our goals or handling a crisis like the one we face today globally with COVID-19. So let's start by walking through those steps. The first step is defining what exactly we want to achieve and what our vision is. You see, also during this COVID era, I meet many times entrepreneurs or business persons who are really puzzled and they have a foggy mind as regards to what they need to do to make it through, to overcome their own crisis that they are facing right now in their own business. And all the time they start asking, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And I just ask them, okay, what do you need to do in order to achieve what? What do you want to do with your business? What do you want to do with yourself as an entrepreneur? And they stop and they say, I never thought about that. You see, we are so used to behave in an automated way that we never take the time to stop and think about these important things. So for me, the first and most important step is just take a break, step back, and get a perspective of what's happening right now. And I like an expression, actually, it has become one of my favorite tools. It's called Get on the Balcony, and it's a theory developed by Professor Ronald Heifetz, if I'm saying his name correctly. He's a Harvard professor, and he suggests the following. When we are facing a crisis and we find ourselves in the crisis, the best thing that we can do is stop, take distance, and observe the situation from above. This is why he calls that get on the balcony. So what we need to do as a first step is to take a break and focus on the bigger picture of our business, on the bigger picture of ourselves. What do we want our business to be? Who do we want to be as entrepreneurs? So if we help our mind see a specific picture of what we want in general, a bigger picture, then we will be able to find the right steps. We will be able to set the right goals. But first, we need to make it very clear what kind of vision we want for our business and for ourselves. It's, if somebody found himself or herself lost and they ask what the right way is, the first thing we ask is, where do you want to go? So if we don't know where we want to go, all the roads seem to be the right ones and all the roads seem to be the wrong ones. So this is the first step that we need to take. We need to define and clarify what our vision for our company and for ourselves as business person is. Let's move now to step number 2, that has to do with activating your motivation in order to make your business's goal happen. Especially during this challenging period of COVID-19 pandemic, it's very easy to get demotivated and disappointed with everything negative happening around you, or even with setbacks and problems happening in your business that affect your plans and expectations. This is why you need to find a source of strength and courage, a source to fuel you up and keep you moving forward, even when the external factors impact your goals in a negative way. A source that will help you stay resilient and flexible to adjust to the new conditions and find your way out to this new era, instead of finding yourself in front of a dead end and decide to give up. This source of strength and resilience is found in your hidden and big why, as we call it, found behind every choice and action you take or goal you set. It's actually what keeps you really activated. This why regards the satisfaction of a deep human need you have. It regards a strong emotion you crave to feel, like feeling safe or excitement by variety, or even feeling significant or loved and connected with other people. It might be a feeling of satisfaction that through your goal's accomplishment, you make a contribution to the world for the common good, or that your goal will help you grow in a way that's really important to you. So whatever you do is because you try actually to satisfy one of the above mentioned needs that is of high importance to you. On the other hand, if your goals cannot answer the question, why is it so much important to you, then maybe this is a sign that you're after the wrong goal, or you have set this goal in the wrong way, or even you have set a goal that is important to others and not to you. And this is why you're not motivated to work with your fullest potential to achieve it. And because this is not a good time to waste any time or resources, maybe you should become aware that you should set another goal that will be really meaningful to you and benefit your company's sustainability and continuation the right way. And also, because your business's success is also dependent on your employees and customers' needs, make sure you find out their own needs to be satisfied and align the way you serve both your employees as a leader and each customer as a company with their preferred way that their needs satisfaction is met. Finally, one thing you should also take into consideration is that you should align the way you decide to achieve your goals with your personal values. Don't take the risk to become someone else or take the advice that doesn't fit your personality by someone who is totally different than you. And the reason is because if you do so, you will subconsciously sabotage your goal success. So find your own way to do things that matter to your business. Trust actually your instinct and your values, and this is the only way to create long-lasting results. Now, step number 3. We talked about in step number 1, the specific vision and the goals, the milestones that you will set in order to get each time closer to the vision of what you want your business to be and who you want to be as a business person. In step number 2, we talked about your why, the strongest inner motive within you that will keep the fire burning and keep you moving forward, even when you are facing challenges and failures. And in step number 3, you start actually collecting the ingredients of your success, the resources and the way that will help you get there. In this step, especially in times of crisis like the one we are going through right now, people get stuck in the trap of lack of resources or limitations. They start generating all the reasons why they can't make their goal happen, as they lack this or that, or they are not able to do this or that. And to be honest, as I grew up in an environment full of limitations and lack of resources, one thing I learned very well, that I later also turned this into a method that I call the Castaways Method. If you want to make progress, if you want to make any goal or dream real, you have to start with what you have. So you don't focus on what you lack, because if you focus on what you don't possess or on what you can't do, then you will turn each obstacle into a reason to feel self-pity and helplessness. And that is the worst thing you can do, especially when you need to find solutions, when you need to be resourceful and innovative to help your business keep going, to help it survive, and also to help it thrive. To remind yourself of this step, I will share with you the Castaways example that I talked about a bit earlier. If you find yourself on a desert island after a shipwreck, the only way to build a raft and sail away from it is to focus on those materials you can find on the island, like wood, a kind of rope, etc. If you start focusing on what you don't possess, then you will get stuck on the island forever. So always start with what you have. Use it in the best possible way, and sometimes even thinking out of the box. Get on the next step and repeat the process as many times needed till you reach your end destination. Now it's time for us to move to step number 4. Going to step number 4, it has to do with how we see every beginning. And okay, as we say, every beginning is indeed difficult, but it's not as difficult as we want to believe it is. When we set a goal, most of the times we look at the result directly, or if we want to walk upwards on a mountain, we look at the top and we say, oh, this is too long for me to walk. And we start again thinking negatively, oh, I won't be able to make it, etc. And we start generating all the reasons why this is not able for us to do it. My suggestion is
to break every goal into smaller milestones. Don't care about the top of the mountain, just focus on the first milestone. And when you reach the first milestone, then focus on the second one, and so on and so on. There is a quote that says, don't leave your dreams on your pillow. And I have to add on that, don't leave your goals on papers. Plans are great, strategies are great, but without execution, without action, they mean nothing. Most of the times what blocks us not to take any action, especially when we are facing a crisis like the one we are facing right now, and the whole world is changing, we do feel fear. We might feel fear of failure, which is very normal. We might feel fear of success. Okay, what if I try that and I succeed? And then I create a totally new situation for me in this new world. How am I going to respond to that? What is it in there for me if I succeed? So it's something unknown for me, and I get scared again, or the fear of change. And what do I do then? I find all the reasons why it's better for me not to start that goal, not to start that new way of working, not to try new things. And this is where I get stuck again to inertia, to not making the decision to take action. So always remember that, yes, every beginning is indeed difficult, but not as much difficult as we want to believe. The greatest part of this kind of this way of thinking is not realistic. And you will realize that when you start make the first step. Moving to step 5. Everything in life, and also in professional life and business life, has to do with choices. When we are able to make the right choices, then we succeed in what we want to achieve. When we don't make the right choices, of course, we face failure. So it's very important to put ourselves in this condition that we are not afraid to make choices, and this is how we will be able to develop the skill of making the right choices for ourselves and for our goals. When we are in a difficult situation, when we feel scared to make decisions because everything is at risk, we see everything as a dead end. And I know that from personal experience. We start giving all the arguments to ourselves why we don't have another option, why now we find ourselves at a dead end, and we start cultivating this kind of this way of thinking. This is where we need to stop and tell ourselves that no matter what, we always have choices. And if we stop and say this to ourselves, we will feel totally, how should I say that, liberated. We will start creating more options for ourselves. We will find a way out. So please, no matter in which situation as an entrepreneur you find yourself right now, please always remember that you do have choices. All that it takes is keep that in mind and look a bit out of the box. choices are actually your power. Don't be afraid to make choices, and don't turn this power over to others. Don't try to avoid making choices by asking other people to make choices for you. And I'm not suggesting that you should make all the choices by yourself. If you run a business, of course, you have employees, you have people you trust that they, in their job position, they need to make the right choices. But even by deciding to trust them and let them do their job in the best way they can, this is also a choice for yourself. Every day we make approximately 7,000 thoughts, and on average 95 of those thoughts are all the time the same. So it's very important to choose our thoughts wisely. If all the time we keep thinking about the negative things and about COVID and about how difficult the situation it is, and what am I going to do, and I'm not sure I will make it through next year, and all those things, then actually we lead ourselves to disaster. So whenever you start having this kind of thoughts, just stop and make a choice. Is this the thoughts you want to think for your business, for yourself? If not, just stop them and focus on things that really matter for your business. Another choice that is very important to make, not only during this period, but always, is the choice to care for other people, to care about your employees, to care about your customers, to care about the people you work with. Especially during this period, topics like health and safety and all those matters are very crucial for all of us, and we are all a bit scared and we are worried and we don't know what is going to happen. Take some time to ask your people how they are doing in a genuine way. Ask them and really mean it. So make a choice to care for your people, and be sure that they will care back for you, for your business. They will do their best to support you and to help you with whatever you want to achieve in your business. Also, choose to see a challenge in every setback and not a problem or an obstacle. We don't live in an ideal world. We don't live in a paradise. Most of the times we need to handle challenges and problems and setbacks, and this is normal. So if we see this as something normal, and we focus on how we grow ourselves through this process, and maybe sometimes through the challenges we discover that there are other opportunities, and we are flexible to utilize these opportunities, then we benefit out of these situations. But if we see everything as a problem and as an obstacle, the only thing we do is leading ourselves and our business again to a dead end. Another important choice you need to do to make as an entrepreneur is where you want to invest your time, especially in challenging times. Time is very important. We have so many things to take care of, so make sure you invest your time in the right things, in the right tasks, with the right people. And this will save you not only time, it will save you energy, and it will keep your emotional reserve high, which is also very important during this period that we all suffer from loss of positivity and emotional reserves. going to step number 6, it has to do with taking control of our emotions. As you probably already know and experience in your own, emotions impact our choices, our attitude, and our actions. And the truth is that we cannot always control the external factors or stop them from happening. And we saw that very clearly with the COVID-19. Nobody expected that. Suddenly we had to face this global crisis, and we are still trying to face this crisis. But what we can control is how we choose to feel about these things and events that happen to us, and not only to us or for us, which is a more positive perspective to handle all those negative events. We can see the difference in two people. One focuses only on, let's say, the negativity and all the problems COVID has brought to us, and another entrepreneur, another person, focuses on the opportunities that are still here, and what to do with them. So two people experiencing exactly the same situation. One focuses on the obstacles and the other person focuses on the opportunities. Also, choose your battles. Not every problem needs our attention. Not all the news we hear every day deserve our attention. So choose your battles, choose where you will focus, where you will let yourself become upset with something, and keep yourself in a calm situation where you will have a clarity of mind and you will focus on your goals and things that really matter to your business. Also, don't take things personally. This is a strange situation for all of us. For your clients, for your employees, sometimes people cannot really control their own reactions. So keep that in mind, and don't think that, for example, some customers might have changed the way they behave to you, or some employees seem more worried or more distant. Don't think that it's something personal. It might be something that has to do with their own life, with the problems they are experiencing during this period. And if it regards your employees, the first thing that you should do, probably, instead of assuming that they have hard feelings for you, is just to approach them and ask if they are experiencing a difficulty, and of course, how you could help them with that. So it's very important that before you choose to react on someone else's action or negative behavior or etc., put yourself in his or her shoes. Nowadays, with these hybrid models of work or remote way of working, as employers, as entrepreneurs, we have the agony to make everything happen and to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And we want our people to feel that our business is their business, and we become more demanding, and sometimes we cross the boundaries and we don't think that they might also have a personal life they want to take care of, and some other people they want to invest their time with. So we see things only from our perspective. If we want to create a long-term relationship with people we work with, and they will support us to achieve our own goals, we need to put ourselves in their own shoes and realize that sometimes we see things from our own perspective, not because we are bad people, but because we are really stressed and worried about our own business. But part of what we do is also taking care of our people, and also feeling empathy about them and about their own worries, about their own insecurities, and see how we can help them and how we can work all together in the best possible way. Step number 7. As we said before, sometimes we are too scared to make choices, to take decisions, and when we do, and we see that our decision was not really the best one, then we react in a way that either we blame others or we blame ourselves, and then we lead ourselves to self-pity, or we get angry, and then we make things even worse. This is why it's very important to make a distinction between taking responsibility and blaming ourselves. Blaming ourselves doesn't lead to something positive, doesn't lead to something fruitful. Take responsibility means that I face the consequences of a choice I've made that it might not have brought the results I have been expecting, and handle whatever has come on the way. And especially when we work with a team, it's very easy, I would say, for us to put the blame on other people when something goes wrong. This, again, leads to negative results as regards also to the contribution of our people. They feel demotivated. They are scared to take initiatives. They are scared to make decisions from their job position. And again, this harms our business. So no matter what happens, we need to take responsibility of a situation and make sure that we handle it the best possible way. Step number 8, become aware of your self-talk. Is it your friend or your enemy? All of us have a constant inner self-talk all the time, especially when we are facing challenges and we are really under pressure in order to make the best possible decisions. Our self-talk plays a huge part in the results we will see, the choices we will make, and whether we will succeed in our goals or not. So become aware of how you talk to yourself. What are those things that you keep repeating to yourself? How do you characterize even your mistakes? Another point is when you are over-analyzing things. As I said earlier, time is really precious, and we need to make sure that we make quick decisions. We don't spend a lot of time over-analyzing, and we need to know up to which point is analysis and when it becomes over-analysis. So it's good to ask ourselves from a point and above, does this make any sense? Is this really helpful now? Or does it generate fears in me? Does it generate imaginary scenarios about the worst things that will happen if I take action, if I start working on that goal? So it's very important to make a distinction between analysis and over-analysis. And also, when we start generating these negative imaginary scenarios that steal our enthusiasm and increase our level of fear, to see it from another perspective. Okay, our brain, our self tries to protect us by being proactive and by seeing some obstacles on the way or some problems that might arise. But over-analyzing all this up to the point that we start feeling fear is not helpful. So, okay, I see some problems that might arise, and the most effective way to handle them is to maybe to be proactive and write down some possible solutions if these problems really come in our way. And also use the devil's advocate method, meaning that if I start making all these imaginary scenarios, just ask myself, how possible is this to happen? Or, for example, how do I know for sure? If we keep repeating all those questions, we will find out that most of those scenarios are not going to happen. It's only our fear talking, it's only our insecurity talking, and maybe our fear of change, because we have entered a new world for all of us. And okay, it's fearful, but the only way to survive and thrive in it is to test new things. And this is the only way for us in order not to be left behind. So whenever I start giving excuses to myself or arguments like it's not going to work, for example, ask myself, how do I know? Have I tried before? And if I have, how did I try? Was it exactly this way? Were the circumstances the same? So try to put as much logic as possible in all those arguments that might appear in your head. And the final step number 9, as I said before, sometimes we make decisions, we make choices that lead to failures. And this is very normal. This is part of the game. This is part of not only the mind game, but of the entrepreneurial success game. And we will need to face them and handle them. So we need to make sure that we manage our failures in a productive and positive way. And the best way to do that is to turn our failures into learnings. And okay, somebody might say, oh, we have heard that so many times. It's easy for you to say, no, it's not easy for anybody to say, to turn the failures into learnings. Failure hurts, and this is true. But what else is true is that we cannot turn back time and change maybe the decision we've made or the choice we made. So what is done is done. It doesn't make any sense to cry over spilled milk. So the only thing that we can gain out of a failure is to learn something out of it. So these were the 9 steps presented also in my book, Success is a Mind Game. I would like to emphasize for one more time that before anything else, it is very important to focus first on the way we think and maybe the habits we have developed and the behavior we have developed in the previous era, and see how all those things are aligned in this new era that we are in the beginning of. So plans are good, strategies are good, but first we need to start from within. We need to start from ourselves. We need to start from our team and make sure that we help ourselves and we help them develop such soft skills that all together we work, we make it through, and we create a better, I want to believe, sustainable business world that will be aligned with the needs of today and of tomorrow. So,
Awesome.
Jonathan.
Thank you so much, Valentina. Great presentation. Definitely inspiring, and it's a lot of things to make you consider how you're doing business as a business person that you bring out. And so that's exciting. I just downloaded, before we began to talk this morning, downloaded your book to start going through. So I'm excited to jump into that and flesh these points out. Definitely encourage anybody else that wants more kind of than we could go over in this shorter format to get the book and go through that. If any of you want to reach out to Valentina, you can also go to valentinakordi.com and find her there. Also, again, awesome work. I'm so excited to watch you continue to grow in your business, how you're approaching these different companies and bringing value to them. Certainly excited to talk to you today, and we really appreciate it. You coming on and giving your presentation, and looking forward to seeing you at some of our other conferences as well this year. Or
Thank you
upcoming
very
year,
much,
I guess.
Jonathan. Thank you very much. If somebody watches this webinar, they will probably think that, okay, this is not to business content, but I'm happy to say that business has returned to humans. We care more than ever for human beings. We realize now that the basic values like health, connection, support, and things like that are the most essential values that we need to protect in order to make it through and to try to build a better world, a more humane world that the business world is part of. So I'm happy that nowadays business persons also start rethinking whatever has to do with people development in organizations, and they don't focus so much strictly in numbers only, revenues, profits and losses.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a big shift going on right now in business, especially with remote work, kind of looking like it's going to be here for an extended period of time, and all the other factors coming in with COVID and the economics of things. It's definitely causing a shift in the business world. And so your kind of methodology fits right in with that, and really should be embraced by a lot of businesses. So thanks again for coming on today, Valentina. We really appreciate your time, and we're looking forward to talking to you again soon.
Looking forward to talking to you too.
Thanks, Valentina. Have a great week.
Thank you, likewise.